now, William.
Good morning, everyone. I'm from Group E, and my group members are Ain Shamila Hanisa, Muhammad Dini Haziq, Noor Alia, and myself, Wailun. So today I'm going to present about solar PV OGPV. Solar PV OGPV is the off-grid PV system. So first of all, I would like to give you an introduction. What is the significance of the OGPV system? So in general, we know that nowadays the fossil fuels there's lack of fossil fuels, and the researcher has shifted their attention to renewable energy sources. So the global demand for the electricity is keep on increasing because due to the population increase, and also due to the environmental consequences of using non-renewable energy resources. So to address this problem, we need to develop a renewable energy source so that there's no environmental consequences when using the energy. So the concern is when the electricity generation, there's a greenhouse gas emission, which is not good for the environment. In this case, renewable energy appear as an alternative to encounter the issue of greenhouse gas emission. There are various sources of renewable energy such as solar, wind, tidal, geothermal, and also biomass energy. Among the different renewable energy, the solar energy is a promising source of energy that is not exhaustible. The development of the OGPV system is suitable in rural areas because in rural areas there is no grid system available to supply the electrical energy for the residents staying in the area. It's because the OGPV system works independently without the need of grid system. It only requires a battery to store the solar power generated. And last, the OGPV system is a standalone power system which is considered environmentally friendly because the power is generated and consumed in the same area. In this case, there's lack of power transmission losses compared to the grid system. So we can see this is the schematic of the OGPV system. So first of all, on the roof there is the PV panel, photovoltaic panel, and connected to a charge controller. So the charge controller is to regulate the battery, regulate the power from the solar panel to the battery bank. So the battery bank is used to store the power from the PV panel and output to our system. So in our electrical system, we have DC circuit and also AC circuit. If for DC circuit, we just need to there's no conversion needed, and the user can directly utilize the power. But for the AC circuit, we need a standalone inverter. So the standalone inverter will convert the DC power to the AC power for our electrical device. And for the last in the OGPV system is a generator backup. So the generator backup is an optional system. So the generator backup will provide electricity supply to our system in case there's no solar energy harness during the process. So the next I will explain about the main components of the OGPV system. So first is the photovoltaic panel, and we call it as PV panel. So the photovoltaic panel is to generate electricity from the sun. For the next is the charge controller. The charge controller is to regulate the electricity current that is added and drawn from a battery. And the next is the inverter. The inverter is used to convert the DC signal into the AC signal for the purpose of our electrical appliances in the house. The next is the battery bank. The battery bank is to store the surplus energy. So the surplus energy means the excess energy generated by the PV system, so that we will have we will have the energy to use in the day when we don't have sun to generate the electricity. And the last is the generator set. The generator set is optional device and is normally fueled by different type of fuel such as diesel, gasoline, and also natural gas. So the generator set is used to uh, charge the battery bank in case there is insufficient energy production. So the next I will explain about the working principle of the OGPV system. So first of all, as we know, we need a solar panel. So the solar panel will convert the electricity will convert the sun into electricity. So the next we will have a charge controller. The charge controller will feed the current into the battery bank at required voltage. The next is the battery bank. So the battery bank will store the excess energy produced by the PV system. The next is we have a control device, which is the inverter that change the electricity from DC to AC to power our electrical items in our house. The next is we have the electricity that passes to a breaker box. The breaker box in here is to distribute the electricity to other electrical appliances in our building. So the items such as refrigerator and lamp in our house that plug into the that plug into the system can be powered. The next I will discuss about the cost of OGPV system. So we can see the cost. First we need to we can see that the PV panel we need roughly 4 pieces of PV panel and the price for each PV is roughly around 605 ringgit. So we times 4 pieces we get the price for 4 pieces of PV panel is two 2,420. The next is the charge controller. The price is around 323 ringgit, and for the inverter the price is around 763 ringgit, and for the battery bank the price is around 630 ringgit, and for the generator set the price is around 550 ringgit. So we can see from the figure here the breakdown of the cost of OGPV. So we can see that actually the PV panel is the most costly component in the OGPV system. It takes about 51.6%, which is more than half of the cost to build the OGPV system. For other things like the generator, battery bank, inverter, and also charge control, they are fairly the same price, slightly different. The next is the classification of the OGPV system. So as we can see, we can call the OGPV system as a standalone PV system. What is mean by standalone PV system is that because it's a off-grid PV system, so that it stand alone. The standalone means that it does not connect to any grid provided by the electrical supplier. So for the OGPV system, there are mainly three categories. The first is without battery, the second is with battery, and the third is hybrid PV system. So without battery, we call the system as direct couple system. With battery system, we call it as DC system self-regulating, and AC system with charge controller. And for the hybrid PV system, normally there are 4 types, which is they are powered by diesel generator, they are powered by wind turbines, they are powered by hydro turbines, and the last is they are powered by the fuel cell. The next we will look into is the hybrid application of the OGPV system. So the hybrid application of the OGPV system example is a solar wind system. The OGPV hybrid with the solar winds, the wind system. So we call it as the off-grid hybrid solar wind system. So the combination of the system uh, will pro will produce more power compared to the standalone PV system and is perfect for isolated area. So the isolated area such as the rural area or the area that is near to the beach or near to the sea where there's a lot there's wind available. The combination of the system, it will eliminate the fuel transportation and handling and storage of the energy for isolated areas. So if we have of we have the hybrid solar wind system, so we do not need to transport any fuel to the area, and we can just rely on this system to generate enough electricity for the residents in the area. The next example of the hybrid OGPV system is the hybrid micro hydro and solar PV system. So hydro here is the we we use water to generate the electricity for our system. So the what is mean by micro hydropower? So micro hydropower is that we generate the power that is less than 100 kilowatt. And basically the hydropower system it converts the kinetic energy to mechanical energy which produce the electrical energy. For the PV, we know that the PV is to convert the solar energy into electrical energy uh, to produce the electrical energy. And the combination of the hydropower and the solar PV system is able to meet the demands of the electrical energy in the villages in rural areas in Indonesia. So for the this hybrid application is a is a is applied in an area in the Indonesia. So I get the reference from this journal, and they claim that is able to meet the demand of electrical energy for the people living in the village, because we know that there are many rural areas, so they need this system to help them to generate the sufficient amount of electrical energy. For the next, I will talk about the solar energy policy. So for solar energy policy in Malaysia, we have the 5 field diversification strategy 2001. So the policy is that 5% electricity generation is through the renewable energy by 2005, and by 2030, the renewable energy such as the solar, biofuels, biomass, geothermal, and wind are expected to double from the initial planning. So we can see from here, so the potential of solar PV is actually very high, because solar PV is ranked in the second compared to different renewable energy. So why Malaysia utilize the solar PV? Because Malaysia is situated in a strategic geographical terrain. So we have enough solar irradiation to power the solar PV system. So the next is what is the incentive provided by the government for the OGPV investment? So first is the tax exemption. So we know that companies that undertaking solar leasing activities will enjoy 70% income tax exemption for up to 10 years. So the next is the tax allowance. So it's a green income tax allowance. So the allowance can offset 70% of the income in the year of assessment. The next is that I will discuss about the design selection of the OGPV system. So this is a general guide for those who are interested to know uh, how to select the appropriate OGPV system for their house in case they need one of it. So first is PV array. So we know that the common solar panels, they have the efficiency around 15 to 20%. So if we other than that, if we look for a high quality solar panel, the efficiency can go up to 22%. So in the market nowadays, we know that the highest efficiency is around 22.8%. The next is we need to know the type of PV module. So in here there are three types of PV modules. So different type of PV modules will give us a different efficiency. So we need to look into this carefully so that the PV panel we choose for will give us the enough electricity for our use. So the first is the monocrystalline silicon modules. The efficiency of the modules is around 15 to 20%, and it have a good tolerance of heat. The next is the polycrystalline silicon modules. So the efficiency of the modules is around 13 to 60%. So it's more simpler to construct and it's cheaper. And the last is the thin film. So the thin film is having an efficiency of 4 to 12%. So the price is slightly higher than the polycrystalline and also lower than the monocrystalline. So the next in the design is we need to because our device is in AC, so we need to DC to AC couple. And for the next is the charge controller. So maximum power point tracking is a solar charge controller ideal for variety high power commercial and residential solar energy system. So it's designed to harness more power from a solar system. And the last is the battery bank. So in most case, the lithium ion batteries is chosen because it's the best option available compared to the other battery available. It's because it has an efficiency of around 92.98%, and the size is very small. It's very compact and lightweight for our application. The next is the utilization of solar OGPV in Malaysia. So first of all, what's the benefit of utilization of the OGPV? So the first is independence. So we don't need to depend on the utility company. So the utility companies such as the TMB, we don't need to depend on them for the power supply. We just need a solar PV OGPV to help us to sustain for the electricity needed. So the next is the no blackout. No blackout means if we have the solar OGPV and we have the power and also a generator, it will ensure that there's no blackout occur because sometimes we know that the utility company they will need to repair the grid system, so sometimes we have blackout occur. And the last is the no electricity bills. So we produce the own electricity needed and we do not need to pay for the utility company for the electricity demand. Although OGPV have the advantage, it will also have some disadvantages like the higher initial cost. So the initial cost to build the solar OGPV is high the as we know the PV is expensive and also the backup battery, which is the generator set, is the second expensive. The limited energy storage. So if the weather is cloudy, there's less energy produced by the solar OGPV. And the last is the energy efficiency. So we need to carefully select the PV because if the efficiency is not enough, maybe it's not the electricity generator is not enough to power our home. The next is I will share about the utilization of the solar OGPV according to different state in Malaysia. First, we know that in Selangor there is a Smart Selangor program. So there's initiative of solar PV installation facilitation program. The next is the solar OGPV is installed in the Rainforest Conservation and Research Center in Perak. The third is the OGPV is installed is the Kota Murudu in Kudat Sabah, and the last is installed at the Teluk Sengat Kota Tinggi Johor. And also for the Shell station Damansara Jaya, there's also the OGPV S if you search for the information, actually the OGPV for the Shell station in Damansara is installed mainly on the roof, so it can capture the uh, whole roof, so it can capture the amount of electricity. So this is the image of the OGPV in Selangor. This is in Kota Murudu. This is Shell station. Just now I mentioned mainly on the roof, full of the OGPV. And the next is rainforest. And the last is in the craft house at Kota Tinggi, Johor. So the conclusion for the development of OGPV is that the OGPV will enhance the reliability of the system for rural area and remote areas. As we know, rural area and remote areas, they have difficulty in access of the electricity. So in this case, off-grid OGPV will be a better alternative for them to generate electricity instead of they generate electricity using the conventional way, such as using the generator and insert the diesel fuel generator. And the next is the OGP system can contribute to higher income for users in rural industry and agriculture. So the rural industry, they can use OGPV to offset their electricity bill so that they do not need to pay too much for the electricity bill. So that's all from Group E. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Wei Lun. Okay, so stop sharing video.